Hey guys, lycheepunnet here. We're doing something a little different. This is more of a podcast than like a set review. We're going to be talking about the recent ban lists or unban lists briefly, and discussing just kind of where these sets will probably go and what they're going to be like. It's going to be a no holds barred discussion, so we might well be very wrong. Feel free to disagree with this more than with anything else we've ever posted or written or anything. But I think it's an interesting enough topic to get people's minds working about how ban lists work and how Bushiroad determines what gets unbanned and what gets banned.
I'll give you a hint. They really don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't at all. Um, so again, with me, we've got, as mentioned, we've got Will, wkim, and we've got Teru as well, who's just sitting there staring at a wind climax.
Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we can just get straight to it. We're using a picture we pulled off the foreign community by one Josh Benitez. Is that right?
Benitez. I think it's Benitez. I can't pronounce words.
Sorry for mispronouncing your name, man. But we hope you don't mind us using this. It's a really good chart, and yeah, we can just kind of jump straight into it.
So the image just shows the current ban list in its current iteration. It doesn't show what got unbanned.
No, it doesn't, but we do know what got unbanned. I'll summarize it very quickly. The Idolmaster was totally unbanned. The Disgaea, Makai Senki Disgaea, or whatever it's called,
Yep, also got
had
unbanned.
it had its pick one of three taken away. It still has its restriction on Emperor on the Overlord the Hull, which is uh,
Fine.
understandable, I guess. Railgun had its pick one of two lifted. Mikoto and Kuroko under one roof is still at two. I don't understand why, but it is. Rewrite has been totally unbanned. Good for them. And Haruhi has been relieved of its pick one of two.
Yep.
Oh, and also the Mono Marika rule has been eliminated, so you can't run four Marika in Mono Marika anymore. Not that it was ever a reasonable rule to begin with.
Not that it was ever fair to begin with.
No, not at all. Other notable points are that on the ban list they said we're not going to do anything about girlfriend beta, Kantai, or Nisekoi, or Madoka, even though they're doing well. We're just going to keep an eye on it and see how it shakes up the World Grand Prix metagame.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get an emergency ban list.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about that. I don't think there's anything super ridiculous
I'm just
right now.
basing it on the fact that Bushra doesn't know what they're doing half the time with these ban lists.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're going to see any 6 out of 8 top 8 spots going to one series anymore. Like
No, because we have
right now
three
it's
good sets plus Little Busters, which has to get played in Japan.
no, it does get played, just not the brain dead yellow girlfriend esque build. Twins gets played.
Two souls is a
Anyway,
fair deck.
yeah, we've got like 4 or 5 very good decks, and then a whole bunch of really decent decks just behind it. And everything past that is just kind of not within the scope of consideration.
Anyways, starting with what we have listed here,
Yeah,
Idolmaster got completely unbanned.
yeah, Idolmaster. So previously, Idolmaster had a pick one of three. So the three cards were the 0/0 Azusa Runner, which is a 2/5 blue runner, comes into
Come,
play, check top. If it's not a music character, this card can't attack this turn, which most people did not actually regard as a drawback, and I did not regard as a drawback. The second card was a Ancient Capital Takane. It's a 3/2 heal that also has the ability Experience. If this card itself is in the level zone, then it gets -1 level from hand. No, it doesn't get -1 level. You can pay one. No, 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 no.
no, it gets if you play it at level two, you can
You
play at
can
level two. If you do, you must
Must
discard an
discard a
discard.
additional
card.
card. Yep. So basically, it was one of the first advanced summons with such an easy effect, but you also had to discard a card. But that's not usually an issue for Idol. That wasn't an issue for Idolmaster back then because they had a third extremely good advantage engine that was also on the list. It was, uh, I think it's Gentle and Positive Haruka. I think her name was.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a 1/0 red. It combos with a Stock Soul.
The
Um,
old stock soul.
The old stock so stock from top deck and everything gets one soul. When this card attacks, you may pay one. If you do, rest any number of your opponent's standing characters and salvage a character from waiting room. Now, the resting part is important because this Haruka gained 1/5 power every time your opponent rested a character. So
It's
whether
also
that was
4K body, so it
Yeah.
really needed it.
it's a 4K body, but it will always be 5/5 on defense at the very least. So assuming your opponent rests nothing, so no brainstorms, no tapping power, no attacks, because attacking requires you to tap, it will be a 5/5 after your opponent attacks it for the first time. So after the second attack, it'll be a 7K, and after the third, it's an 8/5, which is good even by today's standards. And that's why it's
Also
on the list.
got hand on core if you're building the sweets deck for that.
The Mono Haruka deck, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was one of the best advantage engines in Idolmaster and continues to be one of the best, especially with the fact they have the very first Akatsuki clone. It's Azusa. It should rightly be called Azusa clone because she came first. But that fills up the graveyard for you. It gives you another beta. It's just a really good card. And on this list, like people usually picked Haruka.
Yes.
They picked
So
Haruka or nothing usually.
Yeah, pretty much. Because Dudai is a thing. Haruka was just a very good card in general. And Takane is a good card as well, mostly because she's the best blue heal.
Yep.
The other heal is like a blue Chihaya with a really mediocre effect, and I don't think there's another good heal in red or blue, which are the main meta colors for Idolmaster.
I can't think of any. Besides
There's no
the
red color.
event, right? The heal is it the heal event?
3-1 heal event,
No,
yeah.
that hasn't been on the list for years.
No, I'm just talking about like in general.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
a
your
thing, I
other
guess.
blue heal option if you
Well,
choose
now
to.
now you have Takane, then you can run four if you decide you want to win more.
Anyways, I don't think the ban list actually changes that much for IMAS. I guess you get to run Harukas and the runners now, but you still probably won't run Takanes on your top
No,
list because you still have.
I think Takane is good. I think you run it because it's the best heal option you have. It's a really good level two option as well, even though you have to discard a card. I think that this doesn't actually affect Idolmaster's game plan very much. All it means is that you get a 2-soul beta, but it does change the deck construction.
It does depend on what you're doing on the top end, though, because for the Haruka, you need all the stock you can get, because you are spending stock at level 1 to plus, and then you're also spending stock again at level 3 in a large quantity to burn. And I don't think you can afford stock-wise to also run the Takane.
So,
I
me
think
personally,
it's fine. Yep.
for the deck I'm building for IMAS, since I got into IMAS because I thought the Takane was really cool and I really like its art, so now I get to run it with the two best ways to get advantage in IMAS. I'm choosing not to run the Super Burn Haruka because I just recognize that more stock than I think like it can support if you choose to run the Super Burn. I'm opting to go with the Iori clock kicks and the Mickey top check maybe per.
I don't like Mickey.
Ew.
I don't like Mickey either, but there's some cheeky ways to help
The
out.
clock kick is definitely the better choice with Takane. I do agree.
Like the Mickey's just a 2 of just because I wasn't sure what else to try.
Just run a playset of Ihori and a playset of Takane. Boom, you're set.
I only have 3 SR Ioris though. Anyway, like it's all very good, I think, because I've built like a billion Takane decks, all without I want and without the runner, obviously. And you just kind of crap on yourself because you lose a lot of hand. And
Yeah.
it's not fun. And the reason she was on the list with those two cards is because I think those two cards are two of the better ways to conserve hand and build hand. So now it's all just like coming together very nicely. Like I was just expecting maybe Takane to come off the list, and then I'd be able to run Takane and the Haruka together, and I would have been fine with that. But I'm also very happy to get the runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the runner might not be as amazing as people immediately think because you already have decent blue fixing in the forms of off time and the Takane Brainstorm. Whereas green, you used to run like your beaters were
Now you run
what
four
were your
Azuses.
beaters? Yeah, you run 4 Azuses and your beta was usually like Ritsuko or something. Oh no. I guess the runners are good because blue is always good.
Yep.
I don't know what you're fixing for with blue, because like you're just shoving Takane in
Yeah,
your
you're
zone.
just leveling Takane as fast as possible, so
Guess that's a good point. Yeah, like I
you're
guess you
fixing
can
more for red.
Theoretically, you could run an
splash.
IMAS deck with just 4 Takane as your blue, because
Yeah,
that's what
like that's the
you do
reason she's so
anyway.
good. She's so splashable.
Yeah,
Or
I
you
don't know.
could you could splash Jupiter or something.
My Terraformers deck is
that's
super
true.
greedy. It runs 4 yellow iDOLMs as my only yellow.
I
Hmm.
mean, there were Sao decks that ran for the old Leaf at level 3 as their only green.
Exactly. It's always possible to make it happen, so
Like, if you really want it, it'll happen.
yeah,
That's how I see it.
I agree. But I don't think this unbanning like makes IMAS like suddenly a better deck. I really don't.
I think it's
No,
already a very solid deck to begin with.
I think it makes it better. It doesn't make it, like,
Busted.
overpowered.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's just a strong deck, and I'm very excited to play all these powerful cards at once, because I
Yeah.
came, like,
I'd be
half a year before movie into IMAS.
fair enough. I'd be very surprised if IMAX didn't start taking tops, mostly because a lot of Weiss veterans in Japan, who are the people that top,
They have
really
this
like
deck.
IMAX. Yeah, like they have this deck, they play this deck, they know this deck. It's also a difficult deck to play against if you don't know how it works, but it's also a very difficult deck to build and pilot.
Yeah.
So I think that in the appropriate hands, it's one of the best sets in the game right now, but there are a lot of sets on my list of best sets in the game right now.
IMAX actually has been topping stuff recently as
Yeah,
well, so
it
this
has, but
helps it.
so has like Sympho Gear
I'll cry
and
tears every day.
Ghetto
Terraformers can't
Ghetto
top anything.
rewrites. No, Terraform is top.
Terraformers just topped the
Yeah,
shared
they got
list.
a top
Oh,
one
sweet.
one in top 16 or something.
Oh, that's so
Sure.
sad. Only one?
It's but there were like 7 different titles that only put one in, and then like 4 girlfriend beta or something.
Their
Uh,
girlfriend, 2 Kantai, 2 of something else, and then a bunch of singles, I think.
Probably I think it was yeah like there was no Little Busters. I remember there was like Milky, Shining, uh, no
Symphogear.
rewrite. There was a Sympho Gear, which confused me. Um, it just lacks a top end. Like,
it does. It does. But next up on the unbanning list is the Disgaea got its choose one of three removed as well.
I am not looking forward to playing against Disgaea with mid boss and Flon.
Nope.
Like, if you play Nisekoi, you know what a toolbox is. But
Have you
until
seen a
you've
toolbox
played,
that just burns you?
like, until you've played Disgaea, you don't know how strong a toolbox can be. Like, Flon is an amazing card, and the fact that it got put on the list was actually one of Bushiroad's better bannings. Like, in between that and Lahao and Mao, you got literally anything you wanted.
Yeah.
Um,
And then you
and
got to refresh and burn your opponent.
yeah, like basically what the ban list was doing, it hits the raw pluses, which is Lahao and Mao. It hit the super toolbox option, which is Flon. Like she's amazing as a toolbox option, and it hit the finisher slash refresh. So it's basically a one cost ping one heal one,
Yes.
which is pretty obscene. Like it hit those 3 cards. They're all amazing. The rest of this guy is like okay, but not great. But those 3 cards were crazy. And now they have them all back, and I'm not
Is
looking forward
Overlord
to it.
Nahara, or Overlord Laharl not amazing?
Overlord the
Um,
Harl is like the best event in Disgaea after Winged Slayer.
Best what?
Event?
Best event in Disgaea after Winged Slayer.
What are we talking about?
I'm talking
Supreme
about the
Overlord Laharl.
The 3-2.
It's just like a running,
Oh, you're saying it's a salvage event. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just a
fair
running
enough.
joke at the shop that is
heal
basically
one
just a
stuff.
salvage event. You pay
Yeah,
2
yeah.
to heal 1, salvage 2.
That's fair enough.
It's the best event ever printed, or second best event in Disgaea after Winged Slayer.
I hate
It is pretty
Wingslayer.
good. I hate Wing Slayer as well, but it is a difficult card to use properly, so I can deal with it being a thing. I hate it.
Ugh, Disgaea is going to be very frustrating to play against.
Only if the Disgaea player is very good. They may not be as good as
That's-
yeah, like it is a very difficult deck to play well, if I haven't already said that. Like there are so many choices to make that until you've actually played the set and understood what you could have done, that's when you realize it's such a deep and interesting set. Like you can win with it and then decide, oh, I'm really good with Disgaea now because I can win. No, that's not how it works.
That's how Weiss works.
You won, but you probably could have won in a better, safer way. You just didn't realize it. Disgaea has a lot of options to facilitate that.
I just don't understand. Like, I'm reading the Disgaea cards right now, and I don't see how Laharu and Mao, or former Angel Fawn, are fair.
It's not like former
Like,
Angel. Like there's so many things you can do with it. You can literally play over it just to toolbox a little, and
she's a
it filters your hand.
one-cost salvage. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, she has to die, but just
Well,
ram
yeah,
her in.
but, like, if you get value with her from, like, siding or hitting in a open zone,
Or just having all
crashing.
four of the rest of your guys. It's really good. Like
Yeah.
it's just an amazing card.
So,
Um,
next up on the ban list, Railgun got its choose one of two removed. So you can now
I
get
think-
the global level assist back and the global hand on core back.
um,
So, my understanding is people didn't really run either of those too frequently.
Nope.
they did not. The normal
That
railgun
makes
deck
sense.
was green red with splash yellow, with a really fat level 1 transitioning into a somewhat fat level 3 change. So either Uiharu if you wanted to keep making use of your back row supports, or a Kuroko if you wanted to refill your hand, and not Misakuro because that does neither of the above and is a win more play that isn't really great. Right now, I think the best back row for Railgun in a vacuum is actually Heaven Canceller plus 1 Kiyama. Like, that's a really good back row. But I don't know if there's really a deck that wants to fit all of that together. Because if you're playing green for Haruhi. And if you're playing Haruhi, then that's a lot of back row deck slots that you've got. And Kiyama's hard to fit in.
Yes.
On the other hand, the fact that you can run Heaven Cancel and whatever means that you can now splash the 2-1 free fresh from the recent Index comeback campaign,
I
which
was
is
about to say that.
yeah, it's really nice actually.
Does
That's
give
the
you the
only-
blue.
It does give you the blue. It's the only really good blue card, and free fresh is nice because it's kind of a heal, and also sets you up to. Oh, I was going to say search for Taketsubo, but that seems really painful.
This
Anyway,
draws. So
Is it
Yeah.
free fresh draw?
yeah, it's like an Onodera reprint.
It is an Onodera refresh, pretty much. Pretty solid.
Yeah. Anyways, we're all just confused that Misakuro is still limit 2 because it's definitely not a problem card anymore.
I regard it as one of the strongest. It's still one of the strongest level 3 finishers out there. Like all in all, it's almost conditionless. No climax combo needed. It gets power inherently. It has massive synergy with the Levnex Kuroko. But I don't see why putting it 4 would change anything. Like if you wanted 2 Misikuros, you can usually get at least 1, like if not 2. And right now, Index players are forced to run the terrible uncommon heal Mikoto, which does effectively nothing for the other heal option. Or they're running Uiharu, which is good in a different way, I guess.
Yeah, and I just was confused. I just assumed that this would just come off the ban list too.
Well, they didn't take it off the ban list. They're probably scared of what Railgun was like in its heyday. Which
Did
was
not
pretty
stop them
insane.
from unbanning Disgaea.
The Disgaea that topped back then was capitalizing on the fact that Rewrite was so weak to Wing Slayer, and that Rewrite beat everything else. And it also had 2 Lahal. I don't think that's too big a difference, but it is a difference.
It is. It does let
I-
you recurse one more time.
Yeah, I do think that Misakuro should really be unbanned. Even if it was unbanned, I'd probably only play 3. I don't know if I'd really want 4. Well, who am I kidding? Of course I want 4.
It does everything you want.
Yeah, it's a heal, it's a ping, it's a discard outlet. That's the other thing. If you play multiple Misakuros, you lose your hand really quickly.
Yeah, you do have to dash to do the effect.
Yeah, it's not even on both turns, so
Yeah.
I don't know why they think it's still so broken. Good card though.
Next up, Rewrite. Restriction lifted. I have no idea what was banned in the first place.
It was very dominant. Like even though Disgaea was dominating everything, Rewrite dominated everything that Disgaea did not. Like it was insane. let's put it this way, like nothing could deal with it except other rewrite decks. It got to the point where people counterpicked rewrites by playing rewrites with 3 win triggers.
Sounds very terrible.
It was pretty ridiculous. Like win triggers and Wing Slayer were the only thing that could do anything against rewrite. And it got to the point where like they just had to hit it. Like the reason these 3 things were hit was the 1/1 is
It's the change.
it's the change. So it's Encore phase 1 cost clock itself changed to the 2/2, which is obscenely cheap for a 2/2/9/5.
Oh yes, that card is enormous.
Yeah. The Sakuya is a tap to give 1k and 1 level to something. Not something. It has to be either Chihaya or Kotaro. So one of those 2 names. And then the other ability is you can sack it to keep a card in the field. So it's not even Encore. So basically what you did was you put the 2/2 Chihaya out, you attacked, did whatever. If they managed to kill it somehow, then you just sacked Sakuya and kept it alive. Like, even anti-Encore. Like, Melty Blood couldn't beat it because Sakuya isn't Encore. Sakuya is sack it, and then the card comes back naturally.
Okay, I think there are other reasons why Melty Blood couldn't.
Let me live in my world of dreams for you.
Okay.
And the third card is Akane getting out of the bath. So she's a brainstorm. Pay 1, mill 4 for every climax, salvage 1, drop 1. So the obvious thing to do is to drop the 2/2s in order to get them as change targets and salvage Sakuyas in order to keep your 2/2s on the field forever and ever. The other ability is when something's reversed, choose a character, give it 1k. And that was kind of good if your opponent got frisky and somehow managed to get 2 enormous characters that you couldn't counter over. But that was extremely rare.
I would say that ability is good because the rewrite deck ran level 1 bombs.
Yeah, definitely. So you can just get back level 1 bombs, and you can just run them in for extra power.
Oh, and then Rewrite also had the first anti-heal.
Yes.
Correct. It did have the anti-heal.
That alone would just ruin half the decks in the format, though.
More than half. Like, the vast majority of good decks at that time were like Zero No Tsukaima, Railgun, IMAS, Milky, Little Busters, which didn't care because it had heal from clock. The majority of the good decks at that time were good heal decks, and there weren't any enormously powerful finishers aside from like maybe Railgun and Disgaea and Rewrite, which has its own finisher. So now that Rewrite's back to full power, I'm not actually sure it's super well placed. Like, Sakuya is good, but all it really does if you tap and power up 2/2 Chihaya is it exposes it to anti-change counters. And normally I don't advocate anti-change counters because they're like a huge resource drain and you're happy to trade resources for it. But in this case, it cripples Rewrite. Like, if you anti-change Rewrite, they lose the majority of their field. They can't really do anything because if they play another one, they're punching themselves even further because the 2/2 Chihaya, no matter how it comes out, will give you damage. Yeah, like either you clock yourself from deck or you clock the changer.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of depends on the anti-change.
The bottom deck anti-change is way more frustrating.
If it's a bottom deck one, that kind of fucks with you. But if it's like one of the red ones that just kills the character, you could just sack the Sakuya.
I guess, but that's also a Sakuya you sack. And a lot of the anti-change decks, like, let's think about what has anti-change these days, aside from everything.
Nisekoi.
Like Nisekoi. So Nisekoi has 10/5s, possibly bigger, that punch over your 9/5s, and you no longer have Sakuya to buffer it. What else is there? Like Madoka. Yeah, Madoka can... Oh, what can Madoka do? Okay, like, Madoka kind of can't do anything against Chihaya. Madoka gets value and ignores Chihaya.
Like, it's matchup dependent, but like there's stuff like I think Olive has an anti-change.
The Nico?
Yeah.
Sometimes people run the anti-change as well.
I'd love you to use that card on me no matter what set, because I just get extra stock.
It's great. You just attack with it first, and then you anti-change, and then you attack again. It's like, yep.
But like, to me, it's like there are some decks where Sakuya can help because some decks just won't be able to get over the Chihaya easily on.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But I still think it's less well positioned than it was all those years ago when it got hit, which was like
that Junes Adachi skipping out on work put it to work.
That card was already good against rewrite because you were pulling out level 2 at level 1.
Then you had a 1/1 anti-change reverser.
Pretty solid card.
Yep.
Um,
I think
yeah, no,
Rewrite's fine. Like, it's just
Yeah.
gonna lose hard to Contai.
I don't know about losing hard to Contai. Like, I understand that it salvages a lot for its advantage, but it also has a Ricky clone, in case
That's
guys,
true.
in case people haven't noticed, and it's also freaking massive on field. Like, the current Kantai can't just use can't use Hibikis and get infinite value by just ramming. They actually have fields that they need to sustain. And Rewrite not only has 9/5s, they also have bombs. So you can usually hit over like a remaining Shimakaze or something with Chihaya way out of counter range and then bomb everything else on the field. So I think Rewrite's actually okay, despite the fact their gates are completely nullified.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, the gates are nullified, but then, like, you also don't get the climax combo. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
The bad thing is like a lot of decks now have really fat level 1s. So Chihaya's 9/5 is well within counter range for a lot of them, like Terraformers, Rider dot deck, even Little Busters, and yeah, they can all get to that 10k or so after counter, like Angel Beats. Yeah, it's just it's not a very friendly environment to all of Rewrite shenanigans, but it is a very solid deck that I expect to see go up a bit in popularity. It's just such an easy deck to pilot. You don't really have to think very hard. I run this deck, so I'm allowed to say that.
Next up, Symphogear, or not Symphogear, sorry,
Sympho.
SY is
Saying
Haruhi.
that. Haruhi, yeah. So I don't think this changes anything. Aside from dressed up Nagato doing annoying things to you, it doesn't really change much.
As long as they don't get swings back, I don't really care.
Swing was only actually good because it let them get their finisher over and over again, and that relied on them being able to stay alive from a few more turns. And now that there are so many really good finishers around that also clock kick their stuff,
Yes,
it's just
but
it's just a lot.
the swing is
Look,
still just frustrating as hell. Like,
It's-
it's a
yeah, it's
2/1
really
salvage
good, yeah.
to put a card onto field. Like,
it's really solid, but it's just an advantage engine, and in today's modern era of Weiss, like advantage engines or whatever, and Haruhi is a really good finisher, but it doesn't really stack up to the conditionless finishers of today. Oh, well,
No,
I
it
lied.
doesn't.
It does. It does actually. It's still a ping when you attack, and that's really good.
it's a climax combo on attack burn, which is
Yeah, but
fine.
you're doing 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 at best, which is serviceable, not amazing.
It wishes it was Ren and Archer, except I guess it's with a gate, so
No, Rin and Archer's +2 soul is good because you can side level 3s for 1 and 1.
yep, it's
That's super good.
insanity.
Yeah, so
I don't think
I
this
that,
change for Haruhi like makes the deck broken either, though. I agree.
I think that adding Omakashi Nagato, dressed up Nagato, is fine. Like it doesn't really change very much.
Yep.
I guess what it does do is it now allows you to unban Junyo because we now have interaction with Junyo
From one set.
from one possibly irrelevant set. Yes.
Yes.
Don't
Okay.
say stuff like that.
Don't do that to me, please.
Don't free Junyo. I'll do
Yeah, well-
horrible things to people if Junyo is lethal.
Like murder them for playing Junio?
No, I will abandon Little Busters for Contai.
Oh no.
Because
That's
that makes me
alright.
such a good person.
You're just abandoning the better version of Yellow Green Kontai for the Saki version.
Are you implying that I have green +2 souls?
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have them. Yeah, fair enough.
I play twins. I play the hard deck. Harder.
Twins? Hey, I play twins as well.
You
It is a lot.
also have the stupid deck.
I do, but I don't play it very much.
I don't know if you would have very fun playing it all the time.
I like deserving my wins, damn it.
I proxied it out and it just feels so
It's
Like, it
really
feels good.
degenerate.
but it's like
Yep.
I
Well,
played a
it
bunch of
feels-
Musashi's and +2 soul, cool.
it feels good in the way that, yeah, I'm hitting you and you're taking damage and you can't do anything about it.
While
But
I'm plussing and laughing at you.
if they manage to cancel everything, you're in a worse position than like the twins deck would be if they cancelled everything against twins.
This is
Yeah.
true. But, at least you always have +2 Soul Musashi to back up on.
Hmm.
Unless they like hexa cancel you.
Oh my god.
I've been penta canceled with that field. It's kind of super awkward.
Anyways, that's like the entire unbannings. So,
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the? I think that like all right. So I'm just gonna say right now. I think the top tier at the moment is not in any specific order. Nisekoi, Kantai Collection, Little Busters, Girlfriend Beta. That's really iffy though. I don't actually think Girlfriend Beta is that scary for the other top tier sets, and possibly Madoka Magica, which is a very strong set in its own regard.
I think just the first 4.
I don't. I think that if we're gonna say Girlfriend Beta, we're gonna say Madoka as well because Madoka
Yeah,
does just as well.
it's Madoka's about as strong as Girlfriends, and I think.
I feel
Wait,
like
do we get to? Sorry, first 3.
The first three I think are indisputable. Like even though Little Busters doesn't put up any results whatsoever,
The deck
it
is-
has the raw power. Like from an objective standpoint, it has everything Kantai. It has everything to deal with Kantai. It has finishes on the level of old top tier Kantai. It has a search combo on the level of well, better than anything else that's ever existed. It's got Ricky. It's got a money counter. The only reason it doesn't top so much is because plus 2 soul is freaking impossible to find. And even through that, like the base engine is strong enough for twins to top every now and then.
Yeah, and the Nisekoi and Kantai are still super strong.
Well, Nisekoi has Marika, and Kantai is like the entirety of Japan is in love with their terrible boat waifus, so they're gonna play it till the end of time. Also, Akatsuki is stupid. Get rid of it, please.
so. I think with Little Busters, like its impact is okay. Maybe impact's a bad word, but its power is there because there's 2 cards that people refer to by the Little Busters names, even though they existed in previous sets. It's kind of like
That's a good point. Yeah,
Akatsuki being called Akatsuki, not Azusa.
You mean like Ricky and?
they say
Ricky
Ricky and
and
Money Counter. Ricky
Yeah.
and Money Counter, even though Money Counter was in DC as horrible at horror, and
Yes.
Ricky was Akane previously.
Yes.
That's
From
partially
Rewrite.
because, yeah, Rewrite has faded out of existence before people fully understood how good the Ricky archetype was.
And the capo is for
The
you.
capo was, yeah, the capo was based on healing and like running semi-hot, which is not something you can depend on reliably in Weiss, whereas LB had a bit more to it, and Money Counter was just more prominent, I guess.
But I think my point is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's a very solid card. I don't think Japan regards it very highly because Japan sucks, but I'm pretty sure everyone outside of Japan understands how good LB is.
Yes.
They just don't have the cards to run it because it is understandably difficult to run. It's like, yeah, availability is a thing.
So if we say those 3 are the top, like our S tier, our tier 1 decks, then at 1.5 you have things like Girlfriends and Madoka.
I think 1.5 is a really difficult scale. Like I prefer to say S, like S, A plus, A or whatever, because this implies that there are bad decks, and in reality, at least a third of the series in Weiss are very serviceable.
Yes, but a good like 4 sets are actually genuinely bad.
Even those can be.
They can still win
work.
because this is the wonderful world of Weiss, but
I guess that is true. Yeah.
it's just there's
We
a
read Kanan cards. I
That's-
read a
that
bunch
is-
of them the other day, and it was crazy.
This is a good point, actually. Yeah, if you've everyone listening, if you've never read Kanan's changes, I implore you go read and,
change from level zone has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Not to mention, it's a change from level zone in a series that has a 1/0 plus in combo, also reliant on the level zone.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But,
If you've not seen them, go read them. They are a thing indeed.
I'm still like
Oh.
I'm still so confused about this Nisekoi ban list from a year ago. Like, what? Of all the things to put on this ban list, though.
Yeah, I'm not very. They basically blanked Raku. Like he's not a card you'd ever consider ever.
Yeah, but it's like the way I was thinking was like, here's probably the best way to hurt Nisekoi without like destroying the deck, right? Maruka to 1 or 2 on the choose 1 of 3. So that's one of your choose 1 of 3. Level 3 Onodera and 2-1 refresh.
I think all you need to do is separate the 2-1 refresh and 3-2 Onodera, because that's the ridiculous synergy. You definitely don't want that in the same deck.
But like the way it turned out is just okay. Well, pendants are on the choose 1. Sure, that's going to be the pick every time.
Yeah, they basically banned 2 cards. It's exactly the same as what they did with Rewrite. They effectively banned everything but the Chihaya Changer, but then other decks get to use the Brainstorm, and no deck in their right mind would use the Sakuya unless they were like Kotaro Waifu deck or something.
I don't know. Like this ban list still confuses me.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but whatever.
Like all putting Rocco in this ban list did was like, yo, those chibis that were box toppers and worth like nothing, yeah, those are $30 cards now.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I think I'd rather have the Raku than the chibis. In most
I would rather have the
situations.
Raku than the chibis. I'd rather
We would
discard
all rather
than
the Raku
stock,
than
but,
yeah, we would all definitely rather the Raku than the Chibis.
But like, frankly speaking, like the deck game plan didn't like shift because Raku was on this game, like on this choose 1 of 3. There was an alternative available.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
fair. Yeah. You could run 12 of those.
Okay. But yeah, if we say like A+, then you see sets like Madoka and Yellow Girlfriends for sure. I'm trying to think what else would be at A+ though.
A+, IMAS, I would consider putting like Love Live and Terraformers and...
I mean, if we're putting IMAS there, then yes, I would say Terraformers, but like...
IMAS is good. IMAS
yes,
is very...
IMAS is good, but I still think Terraformers is very comparable power-wise.
I don't know, I'm saying like,
Yeah.
I'm putting them in the same tier.
That's why we're
They're
putting
all
in the same tier, but it's like, I don't know if IMAS... I don't think if I consider IMAS to be as good as Yellow Girlfriends or Madoka, for instance.
I do not think it is good as Madoka. Yellow Girlfriends is very different entirely, and like I don't like Yellow Girlfriends because aside from the refresh, it is a worse version of Yellow Green Blue LB.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I can't get on board with
But
that.
I mean, like right now, Kantai is also a less good version of Yellow, Blue, Green LB.
No, it's not.
No.
Kantai is different completely. Kantai is like weird. It's kind of field based. It's kind of advantage based, and it has a compass and Akatsuki, which are like
This is
number
true.
one.
The Akatsuki is a
and-
big difference.
Yeah, the number
Like-
one, number two reasons why it's one of the best decks.
The blue, like, skeleton or whatever in Kantai
Mhm.
feels really good.
It feels good only because the yellow-green skeleton was brain dead, stupid, and uninteresting.
Yeah, but I mean, just like the way the deck works now, like it's very solid. I think.
It's basically what Love Live did. I mean, come on, guys.
But
But
It's-
I
All
mean,
all you did was get Love Live, and you added Compass and Akatsuki. That's all you did.
but I mean, like Tirei, we still see like things like Sword Art.
Love Live
Anyways.
doesn't have Musashi though.
No, it doesn't.
Mhm.
It wishes it had Musashi.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I for one welcome our 2 Love-Ru overlords.
There's no Musashi into Love-Ru, pretty much confirmed. The
Yeah,
double R
I don't think there's ever been a
yellows,
set that had Shot Trigger and Musashi in the same set.
Kantai?
In the same set release.
Kantai?
Was there a yellow Shot Trigger in Hantai 1?
Yeah, the Yamato Climax.
Was it on Climax? Oh my god, I have to look this up. I didn't know this existed.
Yamato Climax combo is
We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it.
Girlfriend
it's
Beta
No,
has
bad.
the
the
same thing.
Yamato in Kantai 1 is an anti-encore card.
It's a heal.
Wait, I thought it got like shot.
No,
No.
that's Kantai 2.
In Kantai 2 it gives
No.
shot. No, so there
No,
was no Shot Trigger character in Kantai 1.
What I'm saying. is
Oh,
that
you mean-
Yamato was like the
oh.
Rin.
Yes. I thought you meant like a
No,
shot trigger.
no. I'm talking
Yeah,
about character.
okay. Yeah. So
From
there's
Beta,
not been a
it's a-
clash in Musashi in the same set, I don't think.
But to be fair, like I already think this combo is very comparable to Musashi in terms of strength.
It is very good, I agree.
Like-
Especially with all of the top checking instead of search for character stuff.
I mean, like being able to get like with 2 of them out, you get 4 extra ping 1s. It's less good, for instance, than like an Ilya effect.
No. It's better because you can't be money counted.
Yes, that's the best part, though. It's I wish it was on climax placement, but that would probably be too broken.
Toaru seems pretty strong. And I'm down with it being strong because I've bought into it.
I have also bought into it.
What is
Dang.
wrong with you guys?
I'm not entirely sure, but hey man, you play Doge Days. That's like yeah.
Dog Days is a quality show, and I do not regret full foiling that deck.
I cannot say the same thing about Two Lover.
Every time I think about losing to Clannad with Dog Days, I don't regret anything.
I did one time lose to KOF. That was not a good day for me.
Was I the one who beat you with clannad?
Yes,
I
Wait,
remember that.
did that happen?
It happened.
it happened at Triple Crown.
Oh man, I missed it.
It was that one time when I
Hey,
pulled
you're
out
probably
clannad.
destroying people with blockheads.
Stupid, yeah, blockade.
Yes.
This was probably after I was out of the tourney after eating 7 in a row or whatever. Anyway, aside from those other sets that I could see being really good, if people tweak rewrites a little, it could be extremely strong.
Disgaea is definitely up there right now as well.
I'm not entirely sure it is. It's very strong, yes, but it does very badly against Kantai. And just the general power level of cards means that it doesn't get to kill very many things, and it really relies on those just random kills. Like, even with Winged Slayer, I'm not sure they get to kill very much.
It depends if they're running the 2-2 combo or not, I think.
The 2-2 combo is like, oh no, like that's definitely a thing, but I meant at level 1 and such.
Oh no, they're not killing
Borrow
anything
it
at level
now.
1. Unless they're running like a very specific back row lineup to buff Laharl Mao with like the grandmother Prinny or whatever the crap that is.
Yeah, fair
The
enough.
pink one that buffs Laharl's. It's very hard to get Laharl Mao over something.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a 5k body.
Mm.
Like,
I think the
Yeah.
other sets I'd put up there right now, I guess, are Shining, because that set has all of the potential, and it has been topping, even though it has just been released. Milky, definitely, it's very strong.
Milky has the saddest money counter ever.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, it really does.
What is it?
Oh, okay, so it's the same cost as a money counter. It does the same effect as a money counter, except then you also have to put 3 specific cards on top of your deck, and they're not climaxes.
So basically, you have to put 3 cards with the character names, like the Feathers characters, on top of your deck. So basically, either you make your last attack the only one you get to use money counter on, or you guarantee the next 3 damage.
You put
So yeah.
4.
Is it
you
4?
Put 4 on top of your deck.
It might be 4.
That's even worse. Yeah. Anyway, that's
But you have
pretty
to run
sad.
feathers, and that deck is kind of like
Yeah, pretty much.
Like detective is the build I would pick. For...
It definitely is, and police is pretty decent as well. Phantom
Yes.
Thief is actually quite strong, by the way.
Yes, it
I'd
is.
put Phantom Thief above Police, I think.
I agree, even though police is the one with the Katsuki and the level 1 bomb. Phantom
Yes.
Thief has some really nutty fields.
They get huge.
Yeah, they do. Speaking of huge, Zero no Tsukaima, that's what else I'd put in A+.
You would
That
put
deck
that
is
high?
Awesome.
Yes, I would. It is extremely powerful if your opponent does not have anti-heal.
There are a lot of sets that are extremely powerful if your opponent doesn't have anti-heal. I mean,
This one is especially
I
this
once
is-
lost to Capo, like pushing them to level 2 before I was level 1, and I still lost that game while they were at level 2.
That's exactly
Speaking of
what
the
Zero no
Kappa, yeah.
Tsukaima does.
Speaking of Takapo, that goes up there as well because it's just an extremely efficient set.
Takapo is super annoying.
Yeah. No, but Zero no Tsukaima is definitely up there. It has a massive field at level 3. It can heal forever, salvage forever, and everything up to level 1 is very customizable to the meta. It's quite strong as well. Yeah. So those are to summarize, the sets I would put in like tournament quality. So S tier would be like Nisekoi,
Expected to win
Kansai.
tournaments.
Yeah, so these are sets that I expect to see multiples of in the top 8, or are like amazing, and because LB is up here, so I have to say this. They would be in the top 8 if there was more availability and more people playing it, because like not many people play LB. So like Kantai, Nisekoi, and LB,
Yeah, those are my top 3 sets in this
And
game.
then I would also put Girlfriend Beta and Madoka up here, I guess. Like those are really good sets. And then A plus, I guess, are just IMAS, um,
IMS, Terraformers, Love
Terraformers.
Live,
No, not Love Live. I think Love Live's A tier,
A tier.
but not A plus. I
Um,
actually put Zero Note Tsukima above it. Zero Note Tsukima and Milky. That would be my A plus.
that's fair.
Okay, and then A tier would be like Love Live, Da Capo, Rewrite,
Disgaea.
Project Diva. I
Shite.
would I would not put Disgaea up in A tier.
You don't think so?
I think it's really good, but I also think that it has a lot of shortcomings to do with the mid game, and its finishes make you jump through a lot of hoops. Like
Yes.
there are lots of sets I put above Disgaea, like Shin-chan.
Shinchan
Uh,
is insanity, though.
yeah, like
Just
I would consider Log Horizon above Disgaea for now. Ilia. Ilia is quite good.
yes.
And maybe Nanoha. But I digress. Like that's my A tier would also have like SAO and Project Diva, if I haven't said that already. And Da Capo. And
No, we already
maybe
put.
Sao.
You're. Uh, yeah, that's fine. I agree.
Like these are the tournament viable sets. These are the sets I'm not surprised to see in the top cut. Anything I haven't mentioned, I'd be like, wow, that topped, either because it's not a strong set or because no one plays it. Like
We.
I forgot. Guilty Crown. Guilty Crown and Shining are both really good now.
Oh yes, because the comeback campaign is
Yeah, comeback campaign for Guilty and Shining is just good.
a very solid set.
Yep.
But don't worry, I'll be there at the top of Good Gaunt Shooter.
Oh, I'm gonna try out Index once I get all the promos.
I am also going to be playing Index when I get all the promos.
The 1-0 is obscene.
Yeah, I'm not bothering
So-
to find the 1-1s that you wanted.
Nah, it's like not a big deal.
It
It's
doesn't
just
make
an alternate option.
it doesn't make a very big difference. I mean, it does get you a 1-1 9K in the center slot, but
Yeah.
it
Mm,
doesn't really
yeah.
matter.
No. So I don't think the metagame changes all too much with the ban list. Like maybe IMAS gets more tops, probably only because more people play it. Like people will dig it out because they're excited to play IMAS again because it's a really good feeling set to play. Like
Yeah.
it's very difficult to feel like worried when you have a full field of 1-0 Harukas and your opponent has like no option but to double tap back row to brainstorm. Like that feels really good.
Oh, your field is turned to 7K.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they can't even side you because you've got off-time Makoto out. Like
Yep.
that
Yeah.
deck is really solid.
It's a very brutal deck. But Nisekoi is definitely still my first pick for strongest deck at the moment.
And I would have to say Nisekoi as well, even though I really want to rep LB.
Like LB is still
Um,
good, but it's just like even one Marika is just truly obscene.
I'll just money counter that. I'll take 1 damage. It's better than 1, 2, 1, 3 or whatever.
1-3, 1-4, and then dying.
Yeah, better than that.
What you gotta do is you gotta clutch it out by money countering after they restand.
No, you see, this is when they start splashing in green into the meta Nisekoi deck just to run the 1-0 Haru, saying, I don't need this extra key trait from Marika, I'm just going to say no money counter. And
feel
then,
like
and then the
devolves
meta
to
gaming has
that-
begun.
If it devolves to that point, I'm gonna be really upset.
It's okay. They'll emergency ban something.
Because that also fits with Sayaka's wish.
Depending on
yeah.
how WGP goes, I would not be surprised to see an emergency ban.
I would, because I don't think anything's that overbearing unless someone breaks girlfriend, and I do not believe that's a broken set.
When
I think it's-
does WGP happen?
Like December-ish, December, January.
If Two Lover ends up being the new Nisekoi, that could still happen.
Yes, I agree.
Dog
I-
Days set 3.
That's not going to be the new Nisekoi. It
Do
could
you
be
know
the
how-
new Nisekoi too.
Fight
Do you know how
me.
irritating, stupid, retarded Leo
I
unfair
do.
and square is?
I
That
have a
is, like,
person at my store who has Dog Days.
so annoying.
I also
Unfair
just don't play
and
decks
square
at
is fine.
salvage, so
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything right now which breaks the meta. I think Nisekoi's on top because Marika and like a billion hand fixes. Kantai is good because Akatsuki and Compass and basically no other reason. Like it's not very impressive otherwise. I guess that Hatsukaze is annoying.
And then Little Buzzers is plus 2
LB's
soul.
it's not topping because no one has it, but plus 2 soul's good, money counter is good, and it just has stuff elsewhere. It's got Ricky.
Ricky?
Girlfriend Beta is just solid. It has a bunch of options that you can't prepare for all. You can't prepare for all of them. Is what I'm trying to say.
Memory Kicker is super obnoxious.
Yeah, yellow Girlfriend Beta I think is just a worse yellow, green, blue LB, but except you can find the cards, so that's why it's quote unquote better. Memory Kicker is obnoxious. Refresh is obnoxious. The 1-0 combo is just good. And aside from that, like, whatever. I also think blue red Girlfriend Beta is pretty decent. It's got a bunch of decent betas and bombs and stuff.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin's not that scary. It's okay.
It's just annoying that its bonder is its condition to burn. Like,
And
that's my
that
only
also
real
it's a level support. The fact that it's a level support is annoying.
It attempts to give her power for her burn numbers.
Yeah.
Everything is terrible.
It's just
like,
very
whatever.
obnoxious to look at and be like, oh, okay, that exists.
Like, whatever. You attack them, they pay half a billion resources to burn you again. Whatever. I don't really care.
I don't think it's a problem. I just think it's like...
Oh, I just want to address it because everyone's freaking out over it, and I don't think it's that scary.
I mean, my store only had like 3 girlfriends players, I think, off the top of my head.
Mm.
And one of them is
What are
moving.
they hyping?
What?
What are they hyping?
They're not hyping anything.
Alright, so
But-
they just don't think it's that super strong.
But Kick King is also like MIA.
Oh yeah, and he lost his deck or whatever.
Yeah, he's also moving.
Bye.
He's going out to Illinois. He's gonna be with Audrey.
Wait, he's moving? As in like moving away from California?
Yes.
He's moving to
Why?
Illinois.
He's moving to Illinois. I think he got a
Why?
job out there.
A job doing what?
I don't know.
Oh, alright. I thought like his job was like Triple Crown stuff.
Nah. He has his
Oh,
own...
that was like a hobby, whatever. Alright, sure.
Yeah, so he gonna be hanging out with Audrey now.
Alright. Yeah, I don't think Girlfriend Beta is that broken. I think the only reason it tops so much is because it's a very recent release and it's a decent set. Like, it has hand fixing, it has advantage engines, it has finishes.
I mean,
So
looking
people-
at the data here, it still looks like it's overperforming slightly with 13% overall appearance and 17% XO. It is overperforming slightly
But
relative
it
to
is
what would be
also
expected.
It is also overrepresented because it has 2 releases in the past year, which is what they're taking from they're taking this season.
Yeah.
Nisekoi is definitely the most overrepresented deck with 11% of the
Absolutely.
playfield and 21% of XOs. It's like literally,
Absolutely, almost double. It's
yeah,
pretty
almost double.
insane.
It's really silly.
Whereas
Makai
Madoka
is performing about where it's expected. Madoka's actually kind of in the same boat where it's almost double.
Madoka's it's overperforming really well because all of the good players are playing Madoka because it's
Yeah.
such a good set. You get to control most of your deck with like Saika looks up to Mami, and the Bond engine's a really good, cheap power engine that lets you compress. Saika's Wish is obnoxious as usual, and you have actual good finishes now. Like, it's just a very solid set, and I'd be surprised if it didn't perform very well this World WGP.
Yeah, and then there's also IMAS is actually underperforming.
IMAS has not got. Oh yeah, I could see it underperforming, like simply because it doesn't stack up that well to high-powered fields. Like even Kantai counts as a high-powered field. Love Live, Shining, I guess. Girlfriend Beta. These are all decks that IMAS does not like to face because those decks beat over their Harukas.
So it looks like
Yeah.
Bushiroad is looking closely at Madoka and Girlfriends to see if it needs to be hit.
Yeah, that's what they said because those are the overperforming decks.
If we're talking about overperforming, Madoka would probably need to be hit more than Girlfriends just by virtue of the performance according to these numbers, but
I suppose, but I don't think that they're overperforming to the point where they need to be hit. Like they're not old Nisekoi, they're not old Railgun.
no, but they're performing as well as current Nisekoi, so if they are going to hit Madoka, that would give them a reason to hit Nisekoi again.
I guess that's true, yeah. And I really wouldn't mind seeing Marika banned just on principle. Like I really honestly believe that it's not a healthy thing for the game to continue acknowledging a card that can burn 4 times on the text. unless you like have to jump through a billion hoops like with level 3 Haruka or level 3 Ilya.
Yeah,
It's
there's
just
like no hoops here.
it's not healthy. Even one, like that's stupid.
God, it was horrible when there was 4 in the deck. Oh,
Mm.
oh.
Yeah.
That deck
I only
was.
ran.
Oh no, I'm just saying playing that deck was fun.
Anyways, I guess that's our video. So this is our opinions on the ban list, I guess.
The unban list.
The unbanned list. Bunch of things got unbanned. High mass is a bit better. Everything else is mostly going to be staying the same as far as status quo is concerned. Man, I just love that this Shin-Chan card is limit 1.
Shin-Chan, the 1075 2 soul.
That card is busted.
Bastard.
Action bastard!
Man,
That card
was that
is-
card ever like not restricted one?
No, it
No.
was actually restricted before it was released.
It
That's
was
what I-
restricted when it was spoiled.
That's what I thought, just because they knew that a costless 2 soul beater with no downside is pretty broken.
Pretty hilarious.
Well, yeah, but it's also just like
Huge.
shit bastard. His card needed to be that awesome.
Dang. Dang. Yeah. I swear to God, if this Little Busters event ever gets unbanned, that's like... I'll be so sad. Anyways,
Yeah, the rest of the ban list is reasonably justified, mostly because they don't want events to go over time, and because Akidinari is like the least fun card in all of Weiss. It's not even good, it's just not fun. Playing
yeah,
things
he'll
is fun.
discard a card. It's like the only card with that effect, huh?
Discard
There's one in Takapo.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The
there
capo
is.
does have everything.
Yeah, it really does have everything. I'll find it. I don't think it's as good, but I don't remember why. It was weird.
Yosuke forces discards.
Yeah, I think that's really all I have to say about the ban list. I don't think the meta is going to be shaken up a lot. I think that IMAS might make a bit of a resurgence, not necessarily due to power, but because
More people
people
playing
like
it.
running it. Yeah. Rewrite might also. The rest, like, I could see Disgaea making waves, but I don't believe it's very well placed right now. And I could say the same a bit about Rewrite. Haruhi, I believe, is going to do jack nothing. Like, it's not going to do anything. And was there anything I missed? Oh, Railgun is also probably going to do nothing. Like, I think Index has a better chance of topping than Railgun.
Dude, that Toe Man, though.
It's a really decent card.
I personally think 3 soul 2 cost beaters are pretty good.
I play them in rewrite.
What's the opinion there?
I love that card.
Well, there we go. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up?
Nope, I think we covered it all.
Yeah, more or less.
Teru?
I'm looking forward to the eventual Contai collection 1 pick 7. Or, sorry, 7
7?
pick 1. 7 pick
No,
1.
no. It'll be full-on ban of Compass, because that's not a fair card.
Well-
Full-on ban of all Akatsuki's except for the Milky Police one, because that's the only quote-unquote fair card out of all of them.
What about the
and-
green one? The green Sakura?
No, screw that.
Have you played Rider deck?
No, I wish. I don't own it.
That card is crazy for Rider deck.
Sounds fair.
I don't think Kantai is actually that ridiculous right now, aside from the inherently unbalanced Akatsuki archetype and the just not fair Compass card. Like, yeah, you can make the argument if Compass fails, then it's quote-unquote bad. No, it's
still
not
a mill
bad.
3 counter.
You just milled 3 cards that aren't climaxes. How's that bad?
Well, 2 because Compass goes on top, but still.
No, you milled
So-
3 because you mill 3 and all of them aren't climaxes.
Yeah, you
so
milled 3
have
that aren't
Compass on top.
climaxes and then you put 1 back. Woo.
You can
I
also
guess,
do
yeah.
shenanigans to force yourself to refresh with Compass, and then you take
Oh,
the
that is like
Compass.
the most corner case thing ever.
No, but it's really obnoxious. To
I
me,
guess
it's
that is
obnoxious because like it ensures they don't refresh with a climax. which means if they
Yeah,
were to
definitely.
refresh with a climax, it just becomes a cancel anyways.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like really funny.
Mm.
So,
So yeah, I think Kantai's only really good because of those two cards, and like it's got advantage engines, it's got whatever,
it's got everything else going for it too, but
I guess, but not to the
nothing
degree
like
that.
spectacular on anymore. It was spectacular when it was printed. Now it's just good.
Mm.
It's what's expected from a top tier set.
I think it's
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
But yeah,
fair enough. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. So I might write an article a bit about
tier list.
the bannings and like a pseudo tier list, but I kind of want to wait for Toaru to drop. I think Titans is going to be pretty good when it comes out too. I don't know if anything higher than A tier, but running is obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So that does it for me. Clap. You guys got anything else to say before we sign off?
Nope.
All right. So that's that. Thanks for listening, and feel free to leave a comment below, subscribe, like, etc. I feel like a sellout, but
Write angry comments. Make us feel bad.
I love those. I had an angry argument with a guy on my most recent post, and that was interesting. So yeah, angry comments are fine too. Like feedback, critique, whatever. We're still like a growing website, I suppose.
The
If you've
growing
got
group of
decks,
people who do stupid videos.
yeah, if you've got any suggestions for what you want to see, please leave them below, and we will get to them eventually. I promise. So yeah, that does it from me, lycheepunnet, and we'll sign off as well, guys.
wkim or El Presidente, depending on where you find me.
Teru signing off.